to Fight Night Hearthstone Edition, featuring some of the top players from around the world. With $15,000 of prize money on the line, who will go home the Hearthstone champion? This is Fight Night.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Season 6 Hearthstone Fight Night. Tonight is the ace match between Clarity and ManaGrind, where they play for more money and also for the glory. It's quite the unique format if you've never watched it, and we'll tell you all about it right after you take a look to how we got here.
Let's talk about the players, the teams that we have here. We actually have a new team this time, Clarity Gaming.
Yeah, we talked to them a little bit in the interviews, and I have to say, more so than the fight nights before, I'm actually a little bit excited to see some of these games go down. It's a lot of players that I haven't seen play for that long, but man, did some of them seem confident. So with confidence, you got the crushing victories or the crushing defeats.
That's right, both sides kind of think that they're going to destroy the other side. So we'll see, can Clarity take out ManaGrind, or will ManaGrind be able to beat them? You know, in each fight night, it's been very close overall. We've never had a 5-0, we've only had one 4-1, and generally speaking, teams go even against each other.
KitKats to me, I've known him for the greater portion of my life. I met him when I was about 14 years old. We both played Magic. And at a certain point, we just got disconnected. Like, he had moved to North Texas. I was still living in Houston. And but he kind of did the same thing I did. Like, he played Dota, he played poker, he played Magic a lot. We both played League. And then when Hearthstone kind of came back around, I was just trying to look for any other good players to practice with. And so I was like, one of my friends had directed me to KitKats, and I was like, hey, my friend tells me pretty good. He's like, yeah, Nathan. And I was like, oh, you're Andrew Vargas. Okay, hey, what's up? And so it just was like it was just like a reconnection more than anything else. It wasn't that whole awkward getting to know each other phase. It was just like, hey, what's up? And then he just was really good at Hearthstone, and I was really good at Hearthstone, and it worked. And then KitKats got second in a tournament, and we were on Skype with Chalky while that was happening. And so apparently ManaGrind and Chalky had some sort of like really big mix-up issue where it was like, they had felt like Chalky had defected already. So like they gave him an ultimatum, and he was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go to Clarity then. So we just picked him up. We're like, perfect, because not only do we need a fourth for ESGN, but we actually needed another team member. And Chalky was like one of the team members that we would have picked, even if he was like even if we would have been so close to like picking an option, Chalky would have been one of our top 5 that we wanted. Again, when I was joining Clarity, and they had Brandon had told me that Zuma and Puffin were already on board, and I was like, I didn't know Puffin at the time, but I knew his game. Like, I'd played against him, and like I'd seen his stream before. He was one of the higher ranked players in NA. I thought he was really solid, and it was just, if I had been in a position where I was going to be on a team with people that I didn't consider high caliber, it wouldn't have been a question for me. Like, I just wouldn't have done it. I'd have been like, no, I have a problem with these guys, so I'm just going to go join a different team. So when I heard that Puffin and Zumba were on, that was when I kind of decided to join. And then when I realized that KitKats was interested in joining a team, that was when I was like, I guess I have to make this decision. But I was obviously excited to play with Puffin and Zumba at the start as well. Both of them are very good players, and I respect the game a lot.
Reels is a strong player. Last time he had quite some bad luck with the draws, and he did some mistakes, what I saw, but he's a really strong player overall. And I know that he will be able to catch up with his reputation in this one. And normally was Colento that was going to come. We're going to make a whole EU squad. But Colento couldn't come due to visa problems, since he lives in Ukraine. So Reels is the current stand-in for Colento, but I wouldn't be sad at all having Reels here. He's a really strong player. Forsen is the deck hipster in our team. He makes really weird decks that none of us even think about. They're just too weird to even bother. And somehow he makes them work. And he keeps doing that over and over. And on deck lists, just looking at the deck, it looks really weird. And how is possible to even have a chance. But somehow he keeps making those weird decks to be able to win, even if he didn't win last time. But he has some new decks going on right now. He has some new secrets, and you'll be surprised. Duckwing has been around in the team for quite a long time, and he's been the priest player in the team, if you say so. He played priest constantly, and I used his priest deck last time when I played. So that's his master class. But he also plays all the other classes really good. So we've been talking a lot together with Duckwing in TeamSpeak constantly in the team, so he's no stranger. This is his second time he's here for now, because he was watching us last time. So it's not unsurprised to the familiar spirits of the ESGN anda, but I think he'll perform really well. But we do have an advantage coming the second time, because they're the newcomers right now. So we're a bit more relaxed, we're more experienced with this tournament, and hopefully they are more nervous, hopefully for us. So we'll have, I think we have to see about that one, but I think we have a good advantage.
And now let's meet the players for Team ManaGrind, Forsen, Dark Wonix, Duck Wingface, and Reels. And the newcomers, Team Clarity Gaming, that's Admirable, Puffin, Chacky, and Kit Kats. So here are the rules for Fight Night Hearthstone Edition. 8 players form 2 teams and battle it out 4v4. The 2 team captains will decide which players will face off in the next round. Now the battle begins. In order to win, the player has to beat all 3 of his rivals' decks. After all the players have battled solo, it's time for the final ace match. All 4 players on each team unite in a grand showdown to find out who is the strongest. Ultimately, the stakes are high. Teams can win as much as $5,000 for crushing their opponents. If one team manages to go even further and clean sweep their opponents, the winners will receive a huge bonus reward of $5,000 on top.
All right, so, we've seen some great matches this week, and even though Clarity has already technically clinched the victory 3-1,
Yep.
we still have to do this ace match. The ace match, it's a little bit different.
It's different. I kind of expect ManaGrind to win, despite what I've said most of the week. I always go with the veteran team. And the coin has been tossed, and ManaGrind has won that. They've decided to ban first, which also means they pick first. And I'll explain exactly how this thing works here to everyone who hasn't seen the ace matches before. So basically, ManaGrind is going to choose a class that they don't want among the class pool. And then the other team, Clarity, is going to do the same in response. They have to pick a different class to ban. And then ManaGrind will get to pick first, but they'll get to pick one class. And it's, they get an open pick, essentially, as outside of the ones banned. Then Clarity gets to pick 2. Then ManaGrind gets to pick 2. And then Clarity gets to pick another 1. Oh no, ManaGrind gets to pick another 1 out of the 2 that are left. So there's going to be 2 banned classes, and there's going to be 1 class outside of those that ends up getting dropped.
Yeah.
Basically Mage, probably.
Well, it could be Mage, but it could be another one as well.
Yeah.
We've seen decks of every single class so far.
Have we?
Every class has been played.
Yeah, I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, no, every single one. Even
trust
Paladin,
you.
Mage, and Priest.
I'll
We saw
trust you
one of
this
each
one
of those.
time.
Well, you trust me all the time, I know it.
Okay.
But it's a really cool format. There's no same class versus same class battles, and there's a lot of metagaming, a lot of mind games going on. But I have to disagree with you on one thing.
What's that?
I don't think ManaGrind's going to win.
You don't think so?
I really think Clarity will take this, and for 2 reasons. First off, before Chalky kind of ran the ManaGrind ace match for them before, now he's on the other team. And I saw, before this all started, I was in with Clarity, and they were actually already practicing for the ace match. So I think they've really put a lot of time and effort into figuring out how to play this ace match correctly.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'm going to counterpoint the fact that I believe on the last fight night, ManaGrind ended up beating Doggy House, and it was quite clear from the Doggy House side of things that you guys definitely had the superior strategy. So what is it?
We always think we have the superior strategy,
Okay.
so nothing new there.
Nothing new. All right.
Well, you know what? Without further ado, let's go ahead, jump into the chat, and see what these guys are going to pick and what they're going to ban. All right, it's time to see how these guys are going to do it. ManaGrind is going to be the first to ban, and if they don't ban Hunter, I'm going to be really surprised.
Well,
really surprised.
I don't know. Is that Hunter deck really that hard to play? I mean, they get to pick it first if they think it's good.
Well, yeah, I see what you're saying, but I don't think they want to pick that. Yeah, well, they ban it. There you go. There you have it.
I guess they weren't too happy with that deck.
No, well, that's the deck that like basically everyone played for Clarity, so it's a good idea to just get rid of it. They're very good at it. They know what they're doing. You know, with Chucky on that team, he really knows how to pilot that deck probably better than anyone here. So it's a good ban. But the ban from Clarity is a little bit harder to get my finger on. Like,
I'm not even sure what they would do. And I guess it's up to me to solve this, right? Does it count towards the deck selection?
It doesn't.
Okay, good. So I can just go wild, right?
You can.
Well,
like if you ban Hunter, like I could see
them. What if they ban Paladin? Because there's
no. Well,
the thing is, there's no way Clarity has a Paladin deck prepared, and ManaGrind does.
That's true. Oh, they ban Rogue. Okay, this actually makes a lot of sense just because of how good the Miracle Rogue is for forcing.
Yeah.
So that's a good choice. You know, okay, that ban does make a lot of sense. So now it's the pick of ManaGrind.
Are we not going to cover that last sentence?
I don't even know if this is being showed.
I think they'll show it if we cover it.
Which one do you think they will? They'll choose.
Apparently, it's up to me.
Yeah. Do it.
I think ManaGrind should just easily steal the Warrior away. They've both had super solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna get Warrior. The other team's probably gonna get Druid, and I think the Warrior has the edge.
Well, if they take Warrior, though, the other team should be drafting Shaman in their two pick.
They can draft both.
Yeah, like a Druid Shaman. That'd be pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think actually maybe take Warlock, to be honest. Warlock hasn't been doing it this tournament so far, but Warlock is really good. Oh, wow, Shaman first pick. Interesting.
It worked the last time for you guys, if I remember.
Yeah, it was like the deck of the tournament,
Shaman,
really.
and then took all the other decks to the trash.
Yeah, it's a sick deck.
All right.
Are you gonna counterpick Warrior against Shaman? Well, you don't want that against Shaman.
The thing is, you get Warrior and Druid, which I feel is kind of bad.
They're gonna go Warrior Mage. Watch this.
Well, I think they want to win, so they're gonna go Warrior Druid instead of Mage.
Okay, we'll see. Maybe they'll just save. You know what? They'll save Mage for last. Actually, that makes much more sense, Grip. Because there's always like kind of crappy classes left at the end, so a Mage pickup at the end is actually pretty smart.
What if they decide to take Priest away from the other team early on?
Very doubtful. Very doubtful.
All right.
So definitely gonna be Warrior. And yeah, I think a Warrior Druid pick is really good, and then finish with Mage for reals.
They must be considering between Druid and Warlock. I think those are the strongest two.
Yeah.
If they have Shaman and Warlock, that might make them a bit more flexible. Because Warrior and Druid can't be played that many different ways.
That's true.
Warlock
Actually, that's well said, because you don't really know. They could play like Handlock, or they could play Murlocs, or they could play just like a board control aggro version of Warlock. I
think the surprise factor of Warlock is pretty strong here.
Yeah, especially in the Ace match. But they do take Druid, and I mean, these are two very solid classes, and they'll both... well, Druid will do fine against Shaman, and then Warrior, you don't really want to use it, but you can like tailor it so that it can have a shot anyways.
All right, so in the next one, we'll just have an easy Warlock pick, I believe, and what do you think after that?
Priest, maybe.
Priest is pretty decent against Warrior and Druid.
Yeah, I think that Priest does completely fine against Warrior, and I think we could see like Warlock Priest, and that's I mean, that's an okay 3 set right there, Shaman Warlock Priest.
Yeah.
And I think that does leave just the Mage left over, because it's like then Mage or Paladin they have to pick, right? And that means that you take the Mage.
Well, one class is being left out.
Yeah. It'll probably be Paladin or Mage that's left out, unless they randomly pick a Paladin.
It is Paladin or Mage that's being left out, because there's only...
Well, I mean, it could be Warlock.
It can't.
No?
No.
You don't think so? It's
No.
impossible?
Yeah.
There's not a chance?
No chance. It could actually be Priest. If they don't pick it, I think Clarity won't as well. I think they're quite confident that Priest is just trashed here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, well, ManaGrind isn't, but definitely
Yeah.
Clarity is. Could ManaGrind choose a Paladin? Because the Paladin did pretty well before.
Mm-hmm.
And against the classes that you see, I mean, it could do all right.
I think so.
It got kind of a bad draw against the Warrior before, but against Druid, you can always play Paladin against Druid reasonably well.
I mean, that's usually how it is with Paladin. I mean, they get 5 toughness creatures, you get a True Silver, and you have nothing on the board. And then you have like a big game hunter in your hand, and
You need a dude.
maybe an equality when they have 1 creature. You know, sometimes it doesn't work so well. Other
Yeah.
times. All right. Oh, see? The one frame that I saw Warlock and Spacebar. Warlock is a given, man.
Yeah. Well, of course. I mean, Warlock is probably the best class overall in the game at the moment, even though this tournament hasn't done so well.
Well, I think Priest is a good choice.
Yeah. Priest wouldn't be bad, and I mean, I don't think they want to go any further with the Paladin deck that they've used.
Apparently they do.
Wow. And look at that, I told you. There's that mage.
Nope.
Well, I still think it's going to be. Because you can actually tailor a mage to beat Shaman and Warlock pretty well.
Mage is pretty good against Paladin as well, actually.
You think so?
Yeah.
I've always felt like Paladin was pretty good against Mage, just because you can load it up with a good amount of life gain. Because I remember
Alright.
back when like
Yeah.
Frozen Giants was really good.
Depends
we
on
were
the
using
mage,
a lot
but
of
you're right.
Paladins.
You're right.
Yeah.
If you know what they're doing, that's absolutely the case. I'm feeling they're considering Priest right now.
Yeah, it looks like they are considering at least. Because those are the only 2 left, so.
Well, yeah, of course.
But against Warlock, Paladin, Shaman, do you really want Priest? I don't think so.
I think Priest stalls out against Shaman, and it's really whether they expect them to play an aggro lock or a control lock. Because I think Priest does quite well against the control, whatever, hand lock.
Yeah, it does. It actually does very well until Draxus comes out. If
Right.
Draxus comes out, you're basically done.
Well, we know the answer to Drax's weapon.
Yes, indeed we do.
Yeah. Oh, no.
All right, so they do end up taking Mage.
All right.
And you know what? I think that both of these teams have like good sets of decks overall. Like, this should be a pretty close match, I think.
It should be. In the past, we've kind of seen, at least from my point of view, one team kind of have the superior strategy. And I think this time it's fairly close.
Yeah.
And because it is a team-based battle, it's very unlikely that you'll have misplays. So I would say that it's anyone's game right now.
Yeah, it definitely could go either way. So it looks like we're going to go ahead and give these guys just a little bit to build their decks. And when they're all set, it's on to the ace match.
Should be a lot of fun.
All right, the decks are made, the players are ready, and the ace match is about to begin, Crip.
Oh, and we don't have the deck lists.
That's right, we don't have the deck list. So we are going to be kind of surprised along with you as to what comes out. There's always a lot of tricks and mind games going into the ace match, because you know what classes your opponent's going to have, so you try to guess what that is and counter it.
Well, we're going to be guessing along with you guys, I guess.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
Well, usually these ace matches have quite a few surprises, usually intentionally so, as we've seen this week in some of the games, especially with Dark Onyx and his Paladin deck. The surprise factor has actually alone taken some of these games, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And hopefully we see just that in the coming games here shortly.
All right, well, I mean, I'm pretty excited about it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start this series. All right, looks like they're starting. Ready, Crit? You ready?
Looks like the game is about to begin. We got Warlock versus Druid. And I was mentioning that if you open up with Warlock, it's probably not the hand-locked variation. Of course, I'm immediately wrong now that we've seen
Opening
which cards
hand-lock.
are being mulligan.
And you know what? Opening handlock against Druid, that's like kind of a best case scenario, right? Like, handlock is actually a good deck against Druid. It's like one of the counters, really.
We'll have to see what kind of Druid's being played, though. A typical kind.
Yeah, it looks pretty normal here. We'll have to see if they put any tech in there. Something we've seen in ace matches before are things like big game hunters being put in a lot of the time to try to counter people.
I'm seeing no new tech yet. In fact, I can probably guess like 26 out of each of the 30 cards in the decks.
Probably. All right, so
Innervate, swipe to the face. What do you think?
it sounds like a really good plan.
Yeah, I've actually been the victim of that.
Dennis?
No, it's someone who is trying pretty hard to outdo Dennis, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You wanted that never-ending fame.
One thing I'm noticing is that neither team has clicked off the kite, and I think when you click off the kite, you get a pretty significant bonus in energy.
Yeah, I quite like getting rid of the kite. I don't... Look at it. It's all whimsical. I don't like whimsical. I'm a very methodical person.
Well, I mean, the Warlock's got some really nice early game cards, like 2 Giants, even the Drake, but having to go first with those cards is actually a bit of an issue, I think.
Yeah, it becomes a pain, but, you know, a nice thing here is that they can just go ahead and start playing them at this point, finally, on turn 4. And it's hard to remove stuff like this as Druid, unless you're playing, like, Big Game Hunter, let's say.
Well, it's pretty hard, but with a bit of direct damage in hand, do you think you can start to push for a burn?
What do you mean, like,
To the face Druid. I mean, you got Swipe and the Keeper.
That's true. Oh,
Are you
man.
kidding? Are you kidding?
Oh, that's a good draw right there.
Is that? Oh, it is. It kills it for free. I was
Yeah.
thinking about that.
That is so crazy.
I think the game might actually be over.
Yeah, that's one of the best moves that you can possibly have.
I'm a bit sad that I can't see a zoom in on the faces of each teams right now. I would expect the neutral face expression from one team to go up and the other to go down proportionally.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
When you get Big Game Hunted, it's actually like one of the most painful things. That and Black Knight hurt more than even a Nat Pagel. The old school Nat Pagel.
That's actually a foil Big Game Hunter. No messing around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I guess it... What? Are you joking me? This can't even be real. Wait, let's watch the faces of ManaGrind. That is insanity.
I got this.
I cannot even believe that they top decked 2 Big Game Hunters exactly after the Giants came out.
Dark Onyx is smiling. He probably...
What can you even do?
He's probably reached his limit of upside down smiling. It's just like a reset.
Yeah. Generally call that a frown.
Was that what it is?
Yeah, generally. Well,
No, there's no well. It's over.
it looks like it, I have to say. He's just gonna gain 3 life here and kill a Big Game Hunter with that. That's not the best use of Siphon Soul generally.
Do you even make it through the turn? You have 6 plus the 4. You're at 3.
Well, they live another turn, so that's nice, I guess, but...
Yeah.
I got this.
I mean, if you had 8 mana, you might be able to survive a little bit with the Drake, Watcher, and Sun Fury. But that's not happening.
Well... Druid at this point, killing pretty hard.
Hellfire is not too bad, is it?
Yeah, I mean, you can Hellfire here. It brings you down to 6, so you just die, because we know what's in the hand, but I think I would do it.
So many possibilities.
Either that or you Siphon Soul. Thing is, every time you Siphon Soul, it's like not really helping, you know? This game is really over.
The big game hunter tag team.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Can't even believe that.
Many
So crazy.
The fact that they put 2 in there, randomly queued first into handlock, and then got them exactly as the Mountain Giants were being played.
Yeah. Well, the best preparation in the world won't stop that, right?
Where shall I strike?
And that is game.
I think we're gonna see a BM finish here. Oh no.
No.
Good manner. Oh, there go the high fives.
All right, so Clarity taking this first game pretty convincingly after that double BGH.
Yeah. Turns out that card's good against 8/8.
Yes,
That
turns
takes
out.
3 turns to set up.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully ManaGrind doesn't tilt too much, because they might go down 4-1 if they do.
Well, what do they have? They have the Shaman. Shamans tend to avoid BGHs, and because the opponents are playing 2, that can't be too bad of a matchup. And I believe the other class they end up picking is the Paladin, which probably goes around the same rule set. They mostly focus on the mid game.
Yeah. I think that either of these are actually okay, but Shaman probably going to be a slightly
You think so?
more reasonable pick, just because the Shaman deck you don't want to match up against the Mage. Well, let's sum that game up a little bit.
Oh, it's big
Game
hunter. Yeah.
at the exact right time,
Yeah.
twice.
Can't mess with that.
There's nothing to be done. Pretty straightforward there. Has to be a very frustrating loss there for a ManaGrind.
Yep.
It's too bad too, because going for Handlock bravely first against Druid.
I can't
It's a good
say
strat.
I can't say I don't enjoy the crushing defeats. So I'm satisfied.
All right. Can ManaGrind come back and win after that upsetting defeat? We'll find out in a minute after this quick commercial break.
Stay tuned for more Fight Night.